Well, switching gears here, Georgia voters, they are set to decide on the final Senate contest in the country today as Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker. They go head-to-head in the final hours, with Warnock showing a slight lead. Now, here to break down what to expect from either outcome, we've got Yahoo Finance's Rick Neman. Rick, excuse my skepticism of some of the polls here at this point in time, but when you think about what the polls are showing us versus what we expect the outcome to be like and what that means for either party here.
I appreciate your skepticism. I share it, in fact. The polls show or suggest that Raphael Warnock, the Democrat, is ahead and, I don't know, has a better shot of winning. I'm not sure I want to say likely to win. And that actually does fit with Democrats overperforming in the midterms during, that wrapped up on November 8th and the days afterward. But you're right, anything could happen, and runoffs are weird. It depends a lot on turnout. I think that those turnout issues actually favor the Democrat rather than the Republican, because people are not coming out to vote for the Republican governor anymore, Brian Kemp. So that could keep some Republicans at home. But this actually does matter. People might think, now the Democrats already have at least 50 votes, 50 members in the Senate, and they have the Vice President, Kamala Harris, who can break a tie. But there's a difference between a 50-50 Senate with a tiebreaker on votes and one party actually having a majority of the members. First of all, when it's 50-50, they actually have kind of a power-sharing deal with the other party in terms of committee assignments. They're 50-50. They share budgets 50-50. And anything that's not an ordinary vote on legislation, such as whether to subpoena somebody, that would require a vote from both parties to get over a deadlock. If you have 51-49, you control all the committees. The majority party has a bigger budget. You don't need the minority party to do things like decide what to hold a hearing on or whom to subpoena. You're not going to get tied up. It makes it easier to appoint judges and other people like that. So in terms of the functioning of Congress and some things that might happen during the next years, it does make a difference.
And that explains, I guess, why so much money has been poured into this race, right? I mean, is it record-setting or it's a lot?
I don't know if it's probably not record-setting, but it's I think it's close to 100 million. What's the number here? $100 billion. No, wait, million. Sorry.
It had to be. It would have to be a million. A billion would be.
Yeah, 100 million. So it's a lot of money, and as usual in these big races, a lot of it's coming from outside, which tells you that a lot is at stake on this race, and it could not be $100 billion.
Rick, handicap this for us. If Herschel Walker were to win, what's the read-through to former President Trump's run?
I think that's a great question. It would be a little bit of a resurgence for Trump, who has endorsed Walker, and you could even say that he helped Walker become the nominee by backing him in the primaries, which is one of the problems we've seen with some of the Trump candidates is they can get nominated in the primaries, but many of them turn out to be so extreme that they really don't have a chance in the general election. Trump's political capital is quickly fading. So if you flip it the other way, if Herschel Walker loses, it's yet another example, and a big one in a Senate race, not just one of 435 in the House, of a candidate who got through the primaries and then turned out to be too extreme in what used to be a red state.
I mean, I think it's safe to say, I think I can say this without being biased, he's a deeply problematic candidate.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's got personal issues with abortions he's been involved in with girlfriends. He's strictly pro-life and he favors strict abortion bans, and yet he apparently has been involved with girlfriends urging them to have abortions. I mean, this has been a big controversy. There are questions about whether he even lives in Georgia. I mean, he's been a resident of Texas for much of the last 10 or 20 years.
The Oz effect.
Yeah, right. So, but as Brad pointed out at the beginning, just don't believe the polls. Just wait until we have an actual outcome.
Yeah, there was also a former romantic partner of his in an interview saying that he committed domestic violence against her. So there's a long list. All right.
And by the way, none of that really is a problem with Warnock. He's pretty squeaky clean.
Yeah. A pastor. Actually.
And he's a pastor.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. That's not always it.
It's not always. It is not always. Yes, that's a fair point.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Rick. Appreciate it.